for students, no problem. So pressure, you know what is pressure? Pressure is force acting per unit area of any body, right? So you all are familiar with this formula. P is equal to F by A. Pressure is force upon area. This formula is used for solids. And you did so many applications also of this concept of pressure is force upon area. School bags have wide straps. In 9th standard, you did all these applications. School bags have wide straps. Okay, sharp knife is needed to cut an apple effectively. Wooden sleepers are laid below the railway tracks. Wooden sleepers are laid below the railway tracks. Concrete and wooden sleepers, they are kept between the rails. Okay, an arrangement is done to increase the area and to divide the pressure of train equally on, not on the rails only, on that a whole area, so that the rails don't get damaged. Okay, then more applications you did. Camel have wide feet. Tall buildings have wide foundations. Tall buildings have wide foundations or bases. So all these applications you did in lower classes. These are all for pressure. So pressure is basically force acting per unit area of any object. Okay. Now, units of pressure. What can be the units of pressure? If you want to have the details of any of these examples, I can explain. For example, first one is, why do the school bags have wide straps? So that the pressure of bag, that is not so much on the shoulders of the children that they get tired. Okay, if straps will be thin, then pressure is inversely proportional to area. Area of thin straps is less. Pressure exerted will be more. So they will get tired. The whole weight, the whole pressure of the bag will be on their shoulders. So they should be wide. Okay. Same way, a sharp knife is having a sharp tip of small area. Because of small area, large pressure will be exerted on it. Okay, large pressure will be exerted on it, because of which what will happen? Apple can be cut very effectively. Railway tracks, wooden sleepers are laid below, concrete etc. are laid below the railway tracks. I already explained this, to divide the pressure of train equally on the whole area. Camel have broad feet because camel is to walk on the sand. So it's very difficult to walk on sand. Broad feet because of more area will exert less pressure on sand and it can walk very comfortably. Tall buildings, okay, they are usually unstable. So they have broad bases. Area of broad base is more, less pressure will be exerted. It will remain stable for a long period of time. Okay, now units of pressure. Units, you know, SI unit of force is Newton, unit of area is meter square. So Newton per meter square, also called Pascal, is the SI unit of pressure. Okay, named after Sir Blaise Pascal, right? So Pascal is the unit of pressure, SI unit of pressure, equal to Newton per meter square. But there are some other units also, other units of pressure that you need to know. Other units are 1 atmospheric pressure. We denoted by ATM. Just we write like this. This means 1 atmospheric pressure. You know, air has weight, so it also exerts pressure on our head, pressure on everything. That pressure is called atmospheric pressure. So 1 atmospheric pressure is 1.01325 into 10 raised to power 5 Pascal. Okay, one more unit is there, bar. 1 bar is equivalent to 1 atmospheric pressure. One more unit is there, torr. 1 bar is 760 torr. 1 bar is 760 torr. And further, 1 torr is equal to 133 Pascal. And you will be surprised to know that the length of mercury column in the barometer, that is also taken to be the unit of pressure sometimes. You all have seen barometer. It is just near the door of physics lab when we enter. Okay, that is a long structure made up of glass and it is filled with mercury. Okay, in +1 we will have that experiment also to measure atmospheric pressure using barometer, right? So we will note down its reading also. 14th barometer we are having in the lab. So we note down the length of mercury column. Yesterday we used one formula, P is equal to H rho G. So this height of mercury column, that is also sometimes used as the unit of pressure. Okay, like 1 atmospheric pressure is equal to 76 centimeter of mercury column. 76 centimeter of mercury column. 1 atmospheric pressure is 76 centimeter of mercury column. So in terms of length, if we put this height equal to 76, put the density of mercury and put 9.8 here and we solve, we will get exactly this value. Okay, so we can also express the unit of pressure in terms of length of mercury column. Okay, so 1 atmospheric pressure standard length of mercury column is 76 centimeter of mercury column. Okay, same way we can write 1 torr also in terms of length of mercury column. It is equivalent to 1 mm of mercury column. It is equal to 1 millimeter of mercury column. All right, is that clear? So look at all these units very carefully. All right, look at all these units. These are all new for you. Pratham of 10th D has entered just now. I want to say, beta, your period, physics period is 3rd today. So you were waiting since long, so that's why I allowed you to enter. Right. Okay, so 1 atmospheric pressure is 76 centimeter of mercury column. So all these are units of pressure: bar, torr, Pascal, then length of mercury column. So look at these units very carefully. Now let us talk about pressure in liquids. Okay, hydrostatic pressure, let's talk about. Pressure of a liquid. Now, when we are having, suppose, liquid in a container, free surface of liquid we are having in a container, right? Suppose a force is acting on liquid in the container in any direction. We don't mention any direction. Suppose this force is making an angle theta with horizontal. We can also take with vertical. Suppose it is making an angle theta with horizontal. Resolving force along two components, F cos theta, F sin theta. We are right now considering which article? Liquid at rest. How does it behave when it is at rest, when it is in equilibrium? Okay. So, normal component, since liquid is not flowing, it is at rest, its horizontal component will be 0. Okay. Since it is at rest, it is in equilibrium, its horizontal component must be 0. Cos theta is 0. Force तो 0 नहीं है हमने कहा. That means cos theta must be 0. Cos theta 0 means theta is 90 degree. So what is the force acting? What is the force acting on the liquid at rest? That is F sine theta. That is F sine 90 degrees. Sine 90 is 1. So this is the force acting. So when we are having a liquid, free surface of liquid at rest, then the only force acting on it is in the perpendicular direction. So we will assume that a force is acting on the liquid surface which is at rest in perpendicular direction. So if the liquid is at rest, there must be acting some force which is normal to its surface. We'll use this point, this fact later on. Okay, so always keep in mind, whenever a liquid is at rest, that means a normal force is acting on it, but in the perpendicular direction. Okay, that doesn't mean if the liquid is at rest, no force is acting on it. A force is acting on it, but perpendicular to it, right? So next is pressure at a depth. Pressure at a depth. The formula that we are using, P is equal to H rho G. We are going to derive this formula, and you all know pressure increases with depth. That is why the bases of swimming pools, they are made very strong. Okay, bases of swimming pools, they have to bear the whole of the pressure of water, which is maximum at the bottom. Okay, so whenever you swim and you go in the interior, you will feel that pressure of water will increase with depth. As you go inside the water, the pressure, more pressure you will be feeling, right? So that pressure at a depth we are going to derive now. So let us assume a liquid column. So we are having liquid in a container. This is the free surface. What is the pressure existing at the free surface? That is atmospheric pressure. Okay, it is exposed to air. So the pressure on the surface will be atmospheric pressure. But we are talking about pressure at this point P. Let us take it point O, because already we are using P for pressure, right? So we want to find pressure at this point, which is at a depth H from the surface. We want to find pressure at a depth H. We want to find pressure at point O. So let us assume a cylindrical column of water. ये water ही है, but let us assume a cylinder of water inside this container, which is of height h. And area of cross section of that cylinder is A, suppose. Area of cross section of that cylinder is suppose A. Then how can we write weight of this water column? Weight of liquid column or water column. That is mg. Okay. Or you can say pressure is force upon area, or pressure is this weight upon area in this case. In this case, this weight of liquid column is the force acting, right, in the downward direction. Now mass can be written as volume into density of water, of liquid. Mass can be written as volume into density. And further, volume can be written as area into length of this cylindrical column. Volume can be written as area into length of cylinder. Okay, fine. So we have found the force acting on this liquid column, that is actually equal to its weight mg, and mass is volume into density. Volume is area into length of this liquid column. So put it here. Ah rho g upon A, area gets cancelled, and we get the formula for pressure at that depth, pressure at that point O, that is H rho g. So pressure at a depth, that is given by H rho g. Is this small derivation clear to you? So we were using this formula to find the height of mountain yesterday. So it was applicable there also, and specifically it is for the liquid, where liquid columns are concerned. Okay, let us do one or two conceptuals based on this formula. One conceptual, one example you write that I just told you. Why are the bases of swimming pools made thicker and stronger? To bear maximum pressure, because water pressure is maximum at the bottom. Okay, so you can write one example of this formula. Why are the bases of swimming pools? They are made thicker and stronger. Second example is, where is the blood pressure in human beings greater, at the feet or at the brain? क्या लगता है आपको? Which is the liquid column in our body? Blood column, obviously. The liquid in our body is blood. So where is the blood pressure maximum? At the feet or at the brain? At the feet. Because if we start from here, then at the feet, the length of blood column is maximum. H is maximum at the feet. So pressure P is equal to H rho G, that is also maximum at our feet. So write the second conceptual based on this logic. Where is the blood pressure maximum in human body? Where is the blood pressure maximum in human body? At the feet or at the brain? Head भी लिख सकते हो आप. Okay, so is that concept clear to you? You can find so many examples from the practical life, right? Now let's talk about this question also, that why is mercury used as a barometric liquid? Why not water? Why is mercury used as a barometric liquid? Why not water? There are one reason is very obvious, आपको भी लगता होगा, because mercury doesn't stick to the glass. One reason is this, mercury does not stick to the glass. उसका भी reason later on हम study करेंगे, ठीक है, angle of contact and cohesive adhesive forces के basis पे, right? And second main reason is it's you can say it doesn't stick to the glass also, and its height is also practically feasible. Height of mercury column required, as I told you, is 76 centimeter. Okay, that would give us 1 atmospheric pressure. The height of mercury column required would be 76 centimeter. So usually the barometers used, they are of length 1 meter. So 76 centimeter उसके अंदर cover हो जाता है, right? Tanveer Singh is entering now. Why? More than half time is over. Tanveer Singh is entering. Tushar bhi just entered. I don't know why you people are coming late. Okay, so I was telling you why mercury is used as a barometric liquid, because the length of barometer would be practically feasible. We can you have seen, we have mounted in the lab also. But if we use, what will happen if we use water in place of mercury in the barometer? Let us calculate the height of water barometer. Then we can comment upon this question. So you can write for the time being, why water is not used in the barometers. Why water barometers are not feasible, you can say. So for water, let us calculate the height of water barometer. Okay, P is equal to H rho G. P is equal to H rho G. Height of water barometer will be P upon rho G. Pressure तो उतना ही देना है. We want 1 atmospheric pressure. Whether it is mercury barometer or water barometer, हमें pressure तो उतना ही चाहिए, 1 atmosphere. Density of water is 1000 and G is 9.8. Calculate it and tell me how many meters. How much length is required? Then we will do it for mercury also. So first calculate the height of this water barometer. Raise hand after calculating, right?
10.6. 10.6.
सक्षम कुछ कह रहे हो आप?
मैम 10.6 मीटर.
10.3 meter it comes out to be. So 10.3 meters. So can you imagine a barometer of height 10 meter in the lab or in the house? No, that is not practically possible to have. So that's why water is not used as a barometric liquid. So this is the answer. All right, because length of such a long barometer 10 meter, that is not practically feasible to handle and to store also. Okay, we can't implement it anywhere practically. There was a scientist von Zurich. He made a water barometer and he fixed it at the back of his house. Okay, there it can be possible. It will give the correct readings, no problems, but you need a space like that, right? So von Zurich, he was a scientist, Italian scientist, and he did this experiment. He prepared a water barometer and it was so long that he had to fix it at the back of his house. Okay, so this is the answer. Now let us calculate the pressure that we get from a mercury barometer. So standard length, standard height of mercury column, I told you is 76 centimeter. So let us calculate pressure using that data now. So for mercury, calculate this pressure. Length of mercury column or height, that is 76 centimeter of mercury column, that is 0.76 meter. Okay, and density of mercury is very large in comparison to water. Water की सिर्फ 1000 है, mercury की है 13.6 into 1000 kg per meter cube. So put in these values and calculate 1 atmospheric pressure. So 0.76, 13.6 into 10 raised to power 3 into 9.8. So solve this. I told you the value already. You will get the answer in pascals. Okay, you will get the answer in pascals, and that would be exactly 1.01325 into 10 raised to power 5 Pascal. So this is how we calculate 1 atmospheric pressure. I hope this is clear. Next is Pascal's law. You have done the statement in lower classes and maximum examples you have done, the names only. But here we will be explaining also those devices. Okay. Yes, anybody who remembers what is Pascal's law? Raise hand. क्या होता था Pascal's law? Yes, who will tell me? What is Pascal's law? Yes, students, anyone? What is Pascal's law? Raise hand. In an enclosed liquid, liquid must be in a closed container. The pressure applied to any part of an enclosed liquid is transmitted equally and undiminished in all the directions. Remember? किया हुआ है ना ये statement Pascal's law का. So write down the statement first. The pressure applied to any part of an enclosed liquid, the pressure applied to any part of an enclosed liquid is transmitted equally and undiminished in all the directions. Is transmitted equally and undiminished to all the directions. ठीक है, तो इसका मतलब ये है कि एक पार्ट में प्रेशर लगाएंगे, हर पार्ट में सेम प्रेशर जाएगा. फॉर एग्जाम्पल व्हेन यू ड्राइव अ कार, okay, the pressure that you apply on the brake pedal, same pressure goes to all the 4 wheels of the car at the same time. So that's why the car stops. Okay, very smoothly it stops, right? So we'll be doing the working of hydraulic brakes also. Hydraulic system is there, and we are dealing with right now hydrostatic pressure. So we are talking about pressure in liquids or hydrostatic pressure. लोअर क्लासेस में बहुत ही सिंपल एक एक्टिविटी आपने की थी, दैट इज वेरी बेसिक एग्जांपल ऑफ पास्कल्स लॉ. You take a balloon with holes and it is filled with water. When you squeeze the balloon, water comes out of all the holes with equal pressure. So you can't associate any particular direction with this hydrostatic pressure. So you can say hydrostatic pressure is a tensor. It's neither a scalar nor a vector. Hydrostatic pressure is a tensor. टेंसर किए होंगे आपने ये काइनेमेटिक्स में, सर ने बताया होगा आपको क्या होते हैं टेंसर्स. द फिजिकल क्वांटिटीज दैट आर नीदर स्केलर्स नॉर वेक्टर्स. व्हाई दे आर नॉट वेक्टर्स? बिकॉज दे डोंट ओबे द रूल्स ऑफ वेक्टर अलजेब्रा. लाइक हियर देयर इज डायरेक्शन, okay, direction is associated, but no particular direction is associated with it. That means it is not obeying the rules of vector algebra, so it can't be a vector. Then those quantities are called tensors. Tensors, tensors, right? So hydrostatic pressure is a tensor. Same way electric current is also a tensor. Moment of inertia is a tensor, right? क्लियर है आपको? तो हाइड्रोस्टैटिक प्रेशर, देयर इज अ क्वेश्चन, इज इट अ स्केलर और अ वेक्टर? नो, इट इज अ टेंसर. रीजन मैंने आपको बता दिया. व्हेन वी स्क्वीज दैट बलून, वाटर विल कम आउट ऑफ ऑल द होल्स इन ऑल द डायरेक्शंस विद सेम प्रेशर. तो हमें ये पता ही नहीं चलेगा उसकी पर्टिकुलर डायरेक्शन क्या है. एक वेक्टर की एक पर्टिकुलर डायरेक्शन होती है. सो दैट मीन्स इट इज नॉट ओबेइंग द रूल्स ऑफ वेक्टर अलजेब्रा. फाइन. सो पास्कल्स लॉ, देयर इज एन इलस्ट्रेशन, an example that makes Pascal's law more clear. An illustration. Let me draw it first, फिर आप draw करना. Yes, you can draw it now. So we have a closed container with 3 openings of different areas of cross sections. This is standard opening of area A. This is an opening of area A by 2. This is an opening, suppose, of area 2A, double of that. So we have a closed container. It is filled with water. Liquid is enclosed in it. And these are fitted with pistons. These are openings are closed with pistons. Like syringes. Syringes are there. Pistons are there. Okay. So we call this first point. This is second point. And this is third point. Draw it first. Okay. Have you drawn? Let us calculate pressure at first point. According to Pascal's law, pressure at all these 3 points will be the same. If I suppose push this piston inwards with a force F1, मैंने इस पिस्टन को इनवर्ड्स पुश किया, तो ये जो 2 पिस्टन्स हैं ये आउटवर्ड आ जाएंगे विद फोर्सेस F2 एंड F3. दिस इज एन इलस्ट्रेशन ऑफ पास्कल्स लॉ. मैंने इसको इनवर्ड प्रेस किया तो ये दोनों आउटवर्ड आ गए, because same pressure will be acting on 3 places. So here the force acting is F1, suppose here F2 and there F3. So let us write it. P1. P1 is F1 over area. P2 is F2 upon A by 2. And P3 is F3 upon 2A. This equation will hold. All right. So using comparing any two terms, we can find force F2 and F3. F1 is given. F1 is the applied force. We want to find F2 and F3. So in terms of F1, we can find F2 and F3. Tell me what will be F2 and what will be F3. So first compare first two terms. So F2 is half of F1. तो जिस साइड का एरिया ऑफ क्रॉस सेक्शन आपका हाफ था, उधर फोर्स भी कम एक्ट करेगा. Now let us compare first and last term. F1 over A is F3 over 2A. So F3 is twice of F1. Where we had double area of cross section, it will also, this piston will also come out with double the force. So it depends upon area of cross section. जहां पे area of cross section half था, वहां force भी जो मैंने apply किया उसका half आएगा. ठीक है? So this is an illustration of Pascal's law. At all these three places, pressure will be the same. Is that clear, students? Any doubt in this illustration? You can ask me. Just now you can ask.